Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Real Talk Show. This is an exciting special edition on the road to RAHi 2026. You know, you guys have been waiting for this. You're wondering, hey, when are we going to have this RAHi this year? Here we are. We're here to inform you and just let you know how it's going to go. I've been joined here by some fine gentlemen who will be in this discussion with me. My name is Halide Muleshe. I am a communications expert from Pinch Africa, which is a partner of the youth platform, and I'll give a chance to these gentlemen to introduce themselves.
Hello everyone, my name is Robinson Muigai Mwaneki. I'm based in Nairobi, Kenya. I am an executive director at Pinch Africa, where we get to do very cool things around digital work, digital innovation, and excited to be part of the RAHi 2026. I have been part of RAHi for a couple of years now, probably 4 years. It's been an exciting journey to see growth every year as we've journeyed with TYP on this journey of RAHi. So very excited to get into this conversation. I'm looking forward to answering your questions, but also on how you can engage in this journey of RAHi this year. Thank you so much.
Wonderful. Hi everyone, my name is Malambo Sibu, Executive Director for the Youth Platform 360. Of course, I'm based in Zambia, and I'm super excited to be here today to just take a moment as we share and give more details around the RAHi 2026. We'll also take a moment to just reflect on what we've been able to do over the years, the different RAHis. I think Robinson has spoken to how many he's been part of. And for me, on behalf of the platform, I think we are so blessed to have Pinch Africa as one of our partners, because I think they've been very consistent, they've been supportive, they've been there through it all. And I think we also know that most of you young people watching this episode today have also been part of some of the RAHis that we have done. This journey of the RAHi itself started in 2020. So from 2020 to date, do also share in the comment section, tell us which RAHi you've been part of and how much impact or anything that stands out that came from a particular RAHi that you attended. For those of you that have never been, we also want to hear from you. Why do you want to be part of this particular special RAHi 2026 that's going to be bigger and better?
Yeah, and my name is Wilson. I'm a web developer by profession. I'm working under Pinch Africa. What I do in my day-to-day is mostly the technical stuff around website development and all that. And most of all, I'm a youth, not just a youth, but a member of the youth platform, and not just a member of the youth platform, but someone making the RAHi happen. Yeah, and I'm happy to be here.
Yeah, thank you so much. Maybe just to mention, something else that makes this episode special is we're actually shooting it in Nairobi, Kenya. So we are really honored to have Sibu here with us. And we also just can't wait to be in Zambia when the time is right. We'll give you the dates as the episode continues. But Sibu, karibu sana, and I hope you felt at home.
Asante. Kenya is always feels like home.
Yeah,
and I'm so delighted to be here. I mean, I had to deliver the invitation to the RAHi to Pinch
in person.
In person. I had to fly to deliver this invitation.
Yeah.
That's how special this year's RAHi is.
Yeah, thank you so much. We're happy to have you. And just getting now into the episode, Sibu, you mentioned that some of the things we'll be looking at are reflections from the past RAHis. And since you and Robinson have been in that space where, you know, you've been there since RAHi started, before even it was RAHi, maybe just walk us down that road. How has it been from the time the idea came up, from when it initially started to now when you're looking into getting into the 2026?
Perfect. So for me, really, I think the one thing I'd want to stress, and one thing I'm very proud about when we speak about the RAHi, is the fact that the RAHi still remains one of the unique initiatives or engagements that is driven by the young people, like meaningfully driven by the young people. Because this is where we actually, as a team, we listen to what young people are saying, to what young people want to do. So looking back at where we're coming from, we started from the first engagement was actually called just a National Youth Conference. Okay, that was 2018. 2019, the engagement was called the National Adolescent Health Endeavor, which was the RAHi. Okay, so that was 2019. But then there was a call, a very loud call from young people around the region, calling to be part of, requesting to be part of that engagement and being part of that platform. Right from 2019, we received so many requests from young people around the region, and we did still admit a few of them. But within that environment, the call became louder and louder, and therefore by 2020, we had now to transition into the Regional Adolescent Health Endeavor, which is commonly known as the RAHi. So we started from there. So it was a call by the young people, and since then the young people have been part of setting the agenda. And of course, you guys have been part of the RAHi, and you have seen how young people actually take the key roles and implement the RAHi from start to finish, even up to the point of evaluating how the RAHi went and what worked well, what did not work well, what lessons we learned. So that is one unique thing about the RAHi. It connects young people with decision makers, implementers. It's really unique in the way it's set up, and it's something that has moved away from how people have perceived young people in the past, where young people will come together to drink tea and then forget about everything they did, get transport refund, whatever it is. But from this one, I think we have seen young people being very proactive. Even post the RAHi, young people continue to engage on our various platforms. Some of them will reach out to me directly. They are sending emails, requesting for what they think needs to be different, even suggestions around what dates work well. So just to say that even those of you that have been reaching out, we have heard you. And I think as we continue this conversation, you will see that the entire package is very, very responsive to what the young people have been asking for. So that's one thing I would speak to now in terms of how different the RAHi is from anything else that I can think of, I've been part of, around engagement of adolescent and young people. So in terms of the difference, I think that is where the real difference comes in. And also the RAHi within the space, one thing that has been unique is that we have, in the long run, identified some partners that have remained consistent, that have continued to actually make the RAHi happen. You see, they were also mentioned earlier on that I am one of the people that make the RAHi happen. That's very true, because the RAHi doesn't happen because Sibu did it. Okay, so the RAHi happens because there are a number of stakeholders that come together, such as Pinch Africa, that are there to deliver certain things from the beginning, before actually, as we are brainstorming and whatnot, we plan together. The Ministry of Health that has remained consistent, the National AIDS Council in Zambia that also has remained very consistent, some of the policymakers, the members of parliament that have been part of the RAHis from actually, some of them from the first one. They've been part of these RAHis, they've been in the space. I don't want to mention names for fear of omitting one or two of the honorable members of parliament, but of course we are very grateful to their support. So let me pause there. I know that Robinson has a lot also to say, because, and I can confirm he's been part of more than 4. Like, I know he mentioned 4, but he's been part of every RAHi. We're now going to the 6th edition, meaning he's been part of 5 editions of the RAHi.
That's true. I've been part of in between RAHi and RAHi. So I was part of the RAHi when it evolves to RAHi, and it's been an interesting shift, an interesting pivoting. There was a need then to create something that is led by youth, that addresses youth problems, that they have a space to speak, and a regional piece. And that's what has happened. So over time, we started with a few countries when we went to RAHi, and it's evolved, and we have more countries now coming to RAHi. We actually last year had Senegal showing up from the west part of Africa, but also the countries around Zambia. They have always come to RAHi, both East Africa and the southern part of Africa, and now expanding to the west part of Africa. So it's been very interesting journey to see ideas and dreams and actually seeing them being executed, and just seeing something that started very small becoming these huge things that policymakers and young people can have a space to engage and have meaningful transformation and change.
Yeah.
So that's been a piece I would want to speak to in terms of the shift that I've seen. Yeah.
I think as you guys talk about that, I feel like, I've left out. I wish I was part of that journey just to see how the RAHi has evolved over the years. For myself, I have been part of the 5th edition, that's the RAHi 2025. And I'd say that's just one, if not the best, actually, let me say the best youth convening that I've seen. I haven't seen something similar, especially here in Kenya. And I think what I thought to myself when I was there was like, hey, these people here are actually really serious about their issues, and just getting to bring this youth together to discuss health issues, sustainability, things like that. Getting to hear their voice, just doing it for the youth, by the youth, with the youth, basically just involving them in everything. I think it was really nice, even having these different countries, South Africa, Namibia, there was a Swatini, different countries represented, which was really nice. I think my first experience was really enjoyable. I really had a nice time. And other than just being, part of that, I was also able to be part of the team that documented the RAHi as well. So doing the photos, the videos, and even then, it didn't really feel like I was working because I just felt like I was part of the conference, enjoying. I got to interview some really interesting people from, interesting organizations, had people from UNAIDS, AMREF, from the ministry as well. And that was really interesting. I don't know, Wilson, how your first experience was, knowing that, we were more or less in the same boat.
I mean, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
I remember sometimes we'd get to the RAHi in the morning, you're expecting a conference, the chairs are neatly arranged, but then you'd see, just a group of youth come in, and the amount of energy that they're coming in with, the chanting, the songs. It's just amazing seeing a group of, especially youth, myself as a youth, coming together, joined with a common goal rather.
Yeah.
So it's not just your normal conference. It's an experience from the nights, the mornings, the daytimes, whatever happens.
Yeah.
You just have to experience it yourself. For me, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. I don't think I've experienced such a convening before. And really looking forward to the 2026 RAHi.
Yeah.
I would actually want to do a shout out for the countries that came. I don't know which countries you can remember. And then when we say something, if you're from that country, then you showed up, you need to comment if you showed up for this country.
Yeah.
So let me start with Kenya, of course. So Kenya, we were well represented. We brought the house down with our dancing. The Zimbabweans, they will not hear of this. So I want to give a shout out to Kenya and the team that was there, and especially the team from AMREF, the team from Pinch Africa, and other Kenyans who showed up. So big shout out there, and please comment if you showed up for RAHi 2025. I don't know who.
Yeah, so for me, I think I'll also give a shout out to one or two countries that I think probably also, when it comes to the dancing, they managed to adequately beat Kenya. So here, let me give a shout out to my Zimbabwean young people. Hola Zimbabwe. Yeah, so Zimbabwe, I think they were well represented, like always. The energy that Wilson was talking about every morning when they showed up, those of them that stayed at the other hotels, when they arrived at the venue, they arrived with so much morale and energy, the dancing. And of course, can I put two? Because I think these are like a tie. Eswatini, Eswatini, the prince and the princess, during the cultural night. I mean, that was just epic. I loved it. Let me pause there. Of course, Zambia, I will not talk about Zambia. We were hosting and outnumbered everyone. And we had, like always, we have so many different traditions that were represented during the RAHi. So a shout out to you, my fellow Zambians, like always on point.
Yeah.
Which country do you remember?
For me, I remember South Africa.
Oh, yeah.
I got to interact with some people as well. I tried learning Kosa. Is it Kosa, Hosa? That it's a bit tricky, but I tried. But it was really nice just to sort of echo what Sibwa said. I realized also there was so much energy from Zimbabwe. You guys have so much energy. It was really amazing. Not to say the other countries were not well represented, but you guys really like set a pace somewhere there. So that was really nice. I remember South Africa. I don't know, Wilson, which one do you remember?
So there's something Robinson mentioned around Kenya being being amazing. But now I remember there's a dance we were doing as Kenyans. But now the funny thing, the people that were captured in the picture, there are Zimbabweans doing the Kenyan dance, which is very funny. So for me, Zimbabweans, you guys are amazing. The energy that you guys, and I remember it was a morning actually. It was just amazing. Yeah.
The other countries actually.
So
for me,
yes. What can you say about Namibia? What did you pick up?
Namibia, I think I interviewed some people from Namibia and also just got to interact with them. One thing I learned from there is I think I'd like to visit because of the beach. The beach there is like really big. So I thought our coastline was huge, but Namibia is just like on another level. So there was that. And the energy was really nice. They're friendly. I think that's what I would say. Yeah.
So I just want to add on Namibia. I think that team also was very well organized.
Yeah.
Like every year, they organize themselves. They come as a big group. Okay, so I think a shout out to Namibia. We are still waiting for you this year. We'll be hosting you back in Zambia. We look forward to that. And of course, a special shout out to those of you that have been reaching out, asking when is the RAHi, tell us the date you want to plan better. Yes, so this is the time we're going to be telling you the timeline, what are the dates, what's going to be happening. Of course, there were other countries. Malawi also has been consistent. They've been part of a number of RAHis, and we're looking forward to still hosting you back in Zambia this year. Malawi was another country.
What can you say about Malawi?
Malawi, of course, also they are quite well organized, and you see they undertake a long journey. They actually came by bus.
Yeah.
Okay, most of them came by road. I know a few that flew to Zambia, but most of them came by road. They came through our Eastern Province border via Chipata and came all the way up to Lusaka. It's a long journey, but they undertook that journey and came all the way together. That unity, the vibe also from Malawi was just amazing. Super friendly young people. They know what they want. They know what they're asking for. Even in the conversation, I think all these countries that have been mentioned here, they were on point, because the RAHi, as you said earlier, is not just a talk show. It's action oriented, it's solution oriented. And I think all these young people know exactly what needs to be done. They know what they want governments to do, how they want partners to respond in addressing the challenges young people face in a sustainable manner. Of course, we had some delegates also from Botswana that were also in the room. It was a very, 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 I think, well represented
as a
regional Indaba. And of course, the Senegalese that you did mention earlier on. For us, it was the first time that we're hosting Senegal there, and of course we made sure there was with support from AMREF, we had the translation, and I think it worked smoothly, and we had a great time also with our Senegalese colleagues. I'm hoping that they'll still be part of the RAHi this year. So that was just amazing.
Any country we are missing? I remember, I don't know if I learned any French language from the Senegalese.
What about the South Africans?
I think they taught me Bon Appetit from Senegal. Is there any country we are missing? If we are missing any country, please comment.
If you are there and we haven't mentioned your country, please do comment. But otherwise it was amazing.
I would want to flip this and ask, what was the key output for you, or something that you picked up that was amazing for the RAHi? What is one or two things you took from RAHi 2025 as we reflect? I'll start with you, Wilson.
For me, is just seeing different youth coming in from different countries, totally different cultures, different language, but coming in to kind of represent their fellow youth from their respective countries, just coming in to table their needs and their wants, and to represent themselves. It's just something amazing, especially when you see it from the start. From when we are planning, we have different people from different countries planning for the RAHi.
Yeah.
So just seeing it happen from when you're planning to when it actually happens, and even after, through the conversations, through the Real Talk Show, it's just amazing. So my key takeaway is just seeing and understanding that people can come together, especially the youth, to advocate for themselves, especially in this, day and age. Just seeing when people used to sit in governments, the old people, no offense, sit in governments, sit in boards, sit in boardrooms, sit in, trying to advocate for the youth. But it's the youth who know their problems, it's the youth who know their issues. So seeing them come represent themselves, it's amazing. Seeing that happen and seeing that possible, it's amazing, yeah.
Yes, so for me, one of the things that I picked up was there was the role of artists in RAHi. And so there was a conversation around the artist and how, artists can be involved in this work of prevention and in health. And the conversation around how they choose the music, and sometimes they sing what the market would want, and just a really rich conversation. But beyond that, we got to appreciate the artists themselves, the ones who really, I think there is one that has worked with TYP for a while, Taitu, who's been a good ambassador, but also the performance from the artists. So they were not just having the conversation, but every day we had an artist performing, which was amazing. So that was one of the things that I took out. Holiday, what did you see?
For me, I think two main things. The first thing was just seeing the passion that was in the room, the way the young people were communicating, the questions they're asking, how much they want to be involved. I felt that was really strong. It was something that I felt, if we could incorporate something like this back at home, then there are some things I feel we will be able to move. The second thing that I really liked was around the recognition of the people with disabilities. That's not something I see a lot in many events. And just being able to recognize them, respect them, and even just, having translators for them so that as the session is going on, they are also, involved. They get their chances to ask questions. I also got to interview a couple of them. I felt it was really the inclusivity.
Even the environment.
Exactly, yeah.
Sibu, what were some of the things that were there? What was a key highlight for you?
I have quite a lot.
Two.
I have quite a lot of them. But of course, one of the things is that, like any other RAHi, we wind up with a position paper.
Yeah.
And that position paper for us is very key, because that's in the document that young people use throughout the coming year, from that particular moment throughout the coming year in various engagements. Like right now, I will tell you that same document is a point of reference for young people who are participating in the drafting of the Global Fund, a country fund request, or funding request. So that's the point of reference. So I want to believe that there's some feedback also that we have received from other young people in other countries who are referring to this document on different things that they're doing. Other young people actually have been able to do abstracts arising from the RAHi position paper on just the power of these youth voices when they come together and set their eyes on something that they really want to achieve. So for me, that was one thing that, of course, really did stand out. And of course, one of the things that was my key takeaway also, one of the interesting things was the number of partners from last year, the number of partners that we had last year. And of course, I also speak to the number of side events we had last year. I think we had more side events. They were better structured. We have some master classes implemented by AMREF under the AHC, the Africa Health Collaborative Program. I think there were a number of young people that were trained in health entrepreneurship, in youth advocacy. So there were a number of those things that young people were able to actually achieve through that structured kind of engagement. And sorry, I know you mentioned two, but the last one would be for me would be the pre-conference events. The pre-conference events is something that I would really want us to continue to do, because that presents an opportunity for us to adequately prepare the young people for engagement as they go into the RAHi to engage with policymakers, partners like CISEM, that have been part of the RAHi for the last couple of years now, coming in to do another lovely workshop and training of young people in advocacy around the
UHC.
The UHC, yes, the universal health coverage, which was really key. And having those champions that were trained in the previous trainings and increasing the numbers last year with more young people being trained as UHC advocacy champions from their different countries, for me, that was just amazing. Yeah, that was amazing, because capacity building, for me, that's something that is long lasting.
Yeah.
It doesn't fade with time. Young people stay with that, and they continue to play a role in the various countries beyond the RAHi.
Yeah. Holiday, we also had a number of policy makers. Would you speak to that? We had more this year. I don't know if you noticed something. You did some interview for them.
Yeah.
Anything you want to speak on that?
So I, like I mentioned, I did get to interview a couple of people. Maybe I may not remember their positions exactly, but I do remember we had someone from AMREF, from UNAIDS, we had someone from the Ministry of Health. We had impact drivers as well from South Africa.
Some members of parliament.
Yeah, some members of parliament as well. And from the interviews, maybe what I will pick is most of them were actually just surprised on how the event is going, being something that's youth-led and, just involving the youth. It's really something that they were really amazed at, in terms of, the youth have capacity to sort of inform their own decisions by having things like this. And even some of them were like, maybe I need to implement something like this back in my country just to see, how the youth will take it. And see, maybe if not that, maybe just have more countries into the RAHi. Let's say maybe people from Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Burundi, to a point where it's now like a regional thing, like the whole of Africa is involved there. So yeah, I think that's what I picked from those interviews I did. Yeah.
So Wilson, you were part of the planning and putting together a platform for people to vote.
Yeah.
And we had a voting, and you saw that from concept to whoever who won. Would you like to speak on that also?
I mean, from when we were trying to do like the technical bits, of course there are like the usual challenges. But seeing that come into actualization, from when we are trying to build, from when we are testing, and people actually doing the registrations, people applying, people sending in their details, just seeing that whole process, there's just something about that, especially when you, as a youth, you're kind of in the back end, kind of monitoring that. And hopefully this year. Not hopefully, for sure this year it's going to be better, much smoother, much more efficient,
Yeah, I think it's really nice the way we also got to recognize those health heroes. I feel it was almost like a sort of just motivation for them also. Like, they're not doing this out of money or what they're getting out of it. It's more like they're passionate about it, passionate about health. Yeah, so that was really nice to see.
And the nominations actually coming from the youth.
Exactly.
People recognizing them for the kind of work they put into the community. And into the goodness and the wellness of the fellow youth.
Sibu, I think this whole Hilo Award that we started a couple of years back, we only had one slot. And now it's grown to music, it's grown to, I think we do peer educator, music, the friendly nurse, or, at the health facility. How has that been, that journey? Starting with this one and then having it grown to you're giving 4 awards last year.
So if we had the way, if it was up to me and we had all the resources, would award even more, because I think it's a recognition of what all these different cadres, what role they play
Yeah.
in ensuring that the adolescents have access to quality health care.
Yeah.
Okay? Whether we are, I mean, the RAHi is so much centered on prevention. It's so much centered on finding solutions to the problems young people are facing. So you can't drive prevention if there's no easy access to quality health services. So for those heroes out there that make it possible for young people to access this service, to have access to these services, we need to recognize them. And you know, in some cases, it's really difficult to come up with just one. You know how hard it is when you're actually picking. When people are voting, you can see that it's almost a tie somewhere.
Yeah.
Because almost everyone is doing something, and there are many more people doing something out there.
Yeah.
So for me, I'm very happy with the expansion of us going ahead to recognize the peer educators, because peer educators put in so much effort, and most of these are 100% volunteers. Nobody pays them for their time, most cases, more often than not. But they're there. Some of them are there every day at the facility. And also when you talk about the artists, a big shout out to Taitu, who has been part of this journey.
Yeah.
Okay, has been part of this journey. Most artists, yes, there are so many more artists that we've worked with, and we appreciate them as well. Taitu has been consistent. Whether we have resources to actually compensate him for his time or we don't, he has been available for this platform. And I think that's the reason why he still remains one of our brand ambassadors, because he has remained consistent. And we appreciate him, even on this platform. We want to appreciate Taitu for all the work that he has done. Of course, as we continue to appreciate the other artists that have shown up as and when we have needed them in the space. We've had people like Makitu that have actually made an appearance. They've been to the RAHi. They've been part of a panel discussing what role art needs to play in this response or in prevention. We've had people like Roberto also turning up to actually be part of the conversation. Apologies to any artists that may have left out. It's not deliberate. Yeah, so I think that, for me, also recognizing the artists is something very important. I'm hoping this year, as we continue to put it together, we can only expand even much, much more. Yeah. So I think for me, that's really the bit.
And we are really interested to working with artists, either in Zambia or outside. So reach out to us if you feel this is something you're passionate about and you want to engage and partner with us. So we really want to work with artists.
Yeah. So, and especially artists, even artists beyond outside Zambia. Okay, you could be, I mean, the RAHi is regional. And of course, last year we also had an artist from, was it Namibia?
Yes.
Yeah, we had an artist from Namibia. Yeah. So we want more of that. So you may not be the artist yourself. If you have an artist in mind that you think needs to be part of this engagement and you have a way of reaching out to them, do drop us something in the comment section and we'll follow up with you to see how we can make that a reality. Yeah. So I think I did mention earlier on that for those of you that have been part of the RAHi before, if you've joined any of the RAHis, please share your experience in the comment section. And if you have never been part of any RAHi, you really want to be part of this one, tell us why you want to be part of this RAHi. You may just win yourself a slot. Yeah,
we have some slots. So handing it back to you. Maybe what I wanted to ask as we wind up here is, what would you want to see in RAHi? Something that you saw, that you would want it to continue, and something new, fresh, vibes. I don't know, you call it vibes. I know they were talking about old people. I think they were talking about Wilson was talking about old people in the boardroom. I think it's you. I don't know.
I may not even have a boardroom, so I don't know.
Even worse.
I guess old is relative.
Old is relative. So also,
you might miss the RAHi.
Can you clear the air? Because are you calling the CEO too old for the RAHi? The TYP CEO. And you are in Kenya. You haven't even gotten your air ticket.
Oh my God.
So
to clear the
Wilson
air.
and Holiday, what is the one thing you'd like to see continue this RAHi? I know there are many things we didn't talk about.
Yeah.
We're just giving a flashback of how the whole thing was amazing. But what is another new thing you'd like to see this year? If you have a wish list, what is the one thing you can add, and what is the one thing we can keep for RAHi this year? And the same question, please comment on the comment section.
So for me, I'd like to see more countries involved. I feel it would make it really vibrant. And just linking it to what I'd like us to keep. I remember we had the cultural night. in the
Oh, yeah, we
previous
forgot that.
RAHi. So I'm just imagining if we have now more countries, people
Yeah.
from Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda, Egypt, I don't know where, Somalia. And then we have that cultural night. That's
Talk
just going
about
to
that.
be-
What was that cultural night? People might not know
Yeah.
what that
Oh.
is. Paint a picture for them.
So how do I put this? It was more like,
A
people
display,
dressed in their
Traditional.
It was primarily a display of the various cultures.
Exactly, yeah.
So RAHi, as I mentioned, we have different people from different countries coming in with the different regalias, the cultural regalias. I could see the people from Eswatini with the cultural, dressing. The people from South Africa, people
Yeah.
from Zambia, people from Zimbabwe, and just experiencing culture from the eye. Basically, that
Yeah. So you'd like we keep that?
Yeah, I'd
And
like
then
to-
add more countries.
More countries.
Yes,
definitely.
yes. And then Kenya, we need to be vibrant in that cultural night. Last time we
You
didn't
come
do
come
justice.
prepared. That's why I've brought you the invitation here
Yeah.
and now. So you guys have heard of the date first. You've been invited first. The first invitation has been delivered to you.
We actually
So
have
can you start
notes.
preparing the
Yeah,
outfits?
yeah.
If you are coming in the
Yeah.
Maasai gear,
Yeah.
please.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'll paint my hair red. Wilson, what would you like to keep? And if you had a wish list,
Yeah.
what would you like to add?
For me, as a technical, or rather someone in tech, the tech side of stuff, I really want to see the role of innovation, especially in advocacy, and also amplifying some of the change we are trying to push as the youth, and also representation, especially now that we are positioning the youth platform and RAHi as a regional thing. I'd want to see a better part of Africa, if not the whole of Africa. It kind of, it amplifies that urge or that need for change across all the countries.
Yeah.
And and also now that we are getting, as we are preparing, or as we are getting into the RAHi 2026, and also advancing as the youth platform, we are coming up with more innovative ways to kind of boost engagement and boost membership. And I do want to see more people experience that aspect or that side, or those perks and those benefits of becoming a member of the youth platform. So it's not just registering and becoming, you have to be part of a movement. It's actually a movement. Yes.
Yeah.
So you don't want to see people join the movement.
I don't want us to hit even millions.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wilson, you're
Yes,
speaking like someone in the boardroom. I was hoping to hear vibes and stuff like that, but you are very technical.
He's
and
speaking like an old person.
yeah, it's-
You see, the thing with youth, we move with the vibe and with the energy. So
Yeah.
the more we are, the vibe also moves with us. So the vibe is not to worry about. I know the vibe will be there.
Sibu, what is the thing you'd like to see keeping, and also what would be your wish list for RAHi 2026?
Yeah.
The keeping, of course, we want to keep the concept as it is, youth driven, okay, driven by the youth, for the youth. So that needs to stay constant, ensuring young people are chairing sessions, young people are in charge of the RAHi from day one to the last minute of the RAHi. They are in charge. That is the only space where young people ask a policymaker to wait and allow a young person to submit, and then give them opportunity to speak.
Yeah.
When the young person says you can speak, it's the only space that exists right now that I'm aware of. So I'd like to keep that the way it is. But in terms of what is changing, of course a lot is changing in this year's RAHi. We are promising to make it, it's promising to be one of the biggest and the best RAHis ever. So there are a lot of changes that would like to implement this year. So I don't know if you want me to get into
No,
details.
just one wish
But-
list. We are gonna get into that in a few.
So the one wish, of course, I would say we need more partners on board. We need more partners on board because the RAHi gives you that opportunity to work with young people as solution leaders and not the problem. So that's within the RAHi. You are looking to work with young people in a meaningful way, invest in the RAHi. Be part of the RAHi. That is where you will find those young people that across the region will speak one language and they'll contribute to sustainable solutions. Because personally, Robinson and the team, I am so passionate about sustainable solutions, youth-led solutions, because I believe that the youth-crafted and led solutions, that's where sustainability lives.
Yeah.
Because when young people design their own solutions, it's very easy for them to sustainably implement them.
Yeah.
Because they don't need somebody else to come and hold their hand and teach them how to implement their own solutions. That's the beauty of solutions led by the young people. Sustainability lives there. I think across the globe, with the change in funding landscape, everybody's speaking to sustainability. So for sustainability, in my lenses, it looks exactly like that. So many challenges affecting young people, the solutions live right there where the young people are found. And the RAHi is one of such places.
Okay, so RAHi 2026. What are we expecting? What are we expecting from that?
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to expect of the RAHi 2026.
Yeah.
As I said before, it promises to be bigger and even better than anything you've experienced before. Yeah, for those of you that had the experience for the 5th edition, the 6th edition, will be another level. We're taking it to another level, most definitely. So the theme for this is RAHi is ascertaining the role of young people in enhancing prevention, ending epidemics, and advancing equitable health systems for all. Okay, so that is the theme for the year. But we also have 5 accompanying pillars for this year, like what we'll be focusing on as an event. So this year's event will focus on the 5 pillars. The first one being HIV and AIDS. As usual, HIV is still an issue that's affecting young people differently. So in terms of HIV and AIDS, of course, whatever it is we are doing around HIV is aligned with the global AIDS strategy and the updated prevention roadmaps with youth populations, of course, that we have seen that are rapidly expanding. Localized biomedical interventions such as the scaling up of PrEP access, the pre-exposure prophylaxis. Of course, I'm sure most young people are aware of what this is about. And the peer-led prevention strategies are urgent to prevent a resurgency of new infections, because we have been seeing some of the new infections actually being higher among the young people. So that's why this conversation needs to continue around HIV. And then the second pillar is around sexually transmitted infections. Again, we have seen a surge, especially in higher learning institutions, where we are seeing lots of young people being infected by these STIs. And most of these are actually recurring. And I think we feel we're probably not doing enough around STIs. That is why this is also one of the key pillars that we'll be focusing on. So targeting rising infections of STIs among youth, with specific emphasis on tailored prevention and treatment campaigns within higher learning institutions, and of course some high schools and marginalized populations or communities of young people, including the PWTs and the like. So the third pillar is around the teenage and unplanned pregnancies, if I may call it that. So this again is another area which requires urgent attention for us to actually attend to it. How do we continue to ensure that young people are playing a key role in preventing these teenage and unplanned pregnancies? So addressing the structural, educational and systemic drivers of early pregnancies. Discussions will center on expanding access to youth-friendly sexual reproductive health and rights, services, life skills, and health education, which is LSHE now, which used to be called as CSE. And of course, removing the socio-economic barriers that affect young people in access when it comes to accessing prevention measures such as contraceptives. The fourth one is around the sexual gender-based violence, the SGBV, which is still another key area that we'll be focusing on. So advancing gender transformative and responsive programming. This would definitely include challenging patriarchal structures, empowering adolescent girls and young women, AGYW, and actively engaging men and boys in SGBV mitigation. So how do we ensure that this GBV conversation is not just labeled feminine, but how do we ensure that boys and men are also brought in this conversation, and they know, we clarify what role they need to play to mitigate any SGBV related challenges. The last pillar is around mental health. So mental health is something that has been a growing concern, okay, over the years. I think last year mental health was a big conversation. We still intend to bring it back in the conversation. So mental health will be one of the key pillars that we'll be addressing. So deeply exploring how psychosocial stressors, economic pressures, stigma, and health challenges affect the mental well-being of adolescents and young people across the continent, and designing youth-friendly psychological support frameworks. So this design component for me is my area of interest. This is where young people participate in designing some of these responsive frameworks, and as far as mental health is concerned, because it's a silent battle that a lot of young people are fighting with. And around this pillar, and many other pillars that we've seen there, this is where, again, we'll be taking an opportunity as the youth platform, of course, in partnership with Pinch Africa, to officially launch the Anti-Mimi digital platform, where we are talking about the digital health. So I think we'll be able to share more. And those of you that are coming to the RAHi, and all those that will be joining us online, of course, you'll be able to experience firsthand on what this Anti-Mimi can actually be able to do if you haven't already interacted with it, because it's already online and actively operating. So do look for it. Yeah. So I think basically that's about the theme and the pillars. But there is, of course, I'll be happy to share a lot more in terms of what is changing around the RAHi 2026.
Yeah. And even as you're talking about the theme and pillars, Sibu, I know someone there is wondering, okay, RAHi 2026, but when and how can I be a part of that RAHi? So maybe you can give us details on the same. And then in terms of how to be part of it, Robinson and Wilson then can get into that.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, so it's been a challenge to just pin down the actual dates, because as I said before, the RAHi is one place where we listen to young people, what young people want. So finally, I think we have been able to settle, after a very long discussion today with all of you who are going to be part of it. We've been able to settle on the second week of December. So the RAHi will run from the 9th to the 11th of December in Lusaka, Zambia. I think the venue and the details of the venue will be shared in due course, but that is the timeline, and we are hoping that timeline is responsive to all your needs, the young people out there, because the outcry was around us having it during the time when people are actively engaged either in school or they're having exams, so meaning they would actually miss out. So it's trying to choose between the RAHi and school. Of course, even us would never vouch for you to leave your school and come to the RAHi. So we're trying to ensure that the RAHi still remains a safe space, a space that is building and contributing to your brighter future.
So guys, mark your calendars for the second week of December. We'll be sharing more updates on the same, but also just getting into how can you really be a part of this? How will you find yourself in Lusaka, Zambia on this second week of December? Robinson, you can speak into that.
Yeah, I will ask Wilson to speak on the details of registration and how to go about that. The thing I want to bring across is just listening to the themes and how we can both have a discussion and engagement around those 5 pillars, but also what TYP in partnership with Pinch Africa already we've started to do. So we have a platform called Anti-Mimi, where you can go in there, check for the facility that is close to you. You can have resident psychologists, doctors that are able to respond to some of the needs of young people. We are putting a place whereby even with the challenges of mental health, someone has a space that they can go to to have those conversations. So you'll see on the details the platform that you could start engaging even as you prepare for RAHi. In terms of the details, I'll leave Wilson to tell us how do we get to RAHi 2026.
Yeah.
Yeah, even just as I get into the details on how to be a part of the 2026 RAHi, earlier on I mentioned something around the role of innovation in advocacy, and also creating and also in sensitization and creating awareness on some of the issues that the youth are experiencing. Again, we are introducing now the anti-mini, trying to sort of introduce a sense of innovation, especially now with AI, seeing how we can incorporate that to solve some of the issues the youth are experiencing, especially as a youth-led platform. Innovation is one of our primary key pillars. And yeah, so I'm really excited, really interested in seeing how that gets to work in terms of the impact. Yeah, in the long run, I know it will be something really useful. The anonymity bit of it, and the aspect of a 24/7 person, you can speak to anytime you have an issue.
Yeah.
It's really bridging the gap between professionals and the people in need of those that kind of professional advice. So yeah, I'm really happy that is getting to happen, and it's also being led as by TYP. In terms of registration, just the usual. Go to the TYP website. We'd have a link there. It's as simple as registering. Of course, you become a member of the youth platform. We also have a couple of perks that our members get to enjoy. And yeah, so it's just as simple as that. Go on the website, you'll get the links to register there. Yeah, I don't think there's...
Go ahead, Wilson. So you go and register.
Yeah.
You get your registration, but before you register, you need to be a member.
Yeah.
If you are a member, you get some points that you can redeem. There's also other things around scholarship. So we'll be giving scholarship in different categories. If you refer many people, you get scholarship. If you have a good abstract that you've submitted, some of those abstracts, they're gonna get some scholarship.
Yeah.
We will have different things. If you attend our show, and there will be something happening out there on the real show. So there are all these opportunity for young people.
Yeah.
But also go ahead and register. It's better to be registered and get yourself a slot. So we've changed a couple of things this year, and you get to see everything on the website. The website is
The youth platform. .org.
theyouthplatform.org.
Yeah.
See something left out there?
Yeah, so the youthplatform.org, you can check it out in the comment section. Click there and it'll take you direct to the youth platform website. So you have left out nothing really. I think just to say there are so many opportunities that you've said. There are lots of people that complain around how they have always applied, they haven't been picked, and they are so passionate about being part of this event. So this year we have opened up so many other opportunities. So please do look out, stay glued, join as a member so that you can get updates on what is happening, what is new. So there'll be a call for volunteers that will be managing the RAHi. For instance, you want to be an usher, there are different roles that you'll be able to play. You want to join the tech team, these guys that handle cameras and whatnot.
Yeah.
You are passionate about that. Wilson was talking about innovation. You're an innovative young person. You want to be part of the team. So there will be a call. Do look out for that call. You can apply, give us the details. And please remember that we're not offering employment. We're talking about volunteers that want to be part of this event. For this event to be sustainable, we need services like that to be provided. Otherwise, we'll simply remain dependent on the people that have the money. As and when they can give you the money, then the RAHi will happen.
Yeah.
But the RAHi doesn't operate like that. The RAHi is an independent platform where young people drive it the way they want to drive it, and we host it as and when we need to host it. That is the reason why it's been consistent every year. We've had the RAHi because they are young people and partners that have remained committed to this cause. So that call will be open soon. The abstract that Robinson has spoken to, that will also be, there will be a call for abstracts very soon. Please again, do look out. when it comes to this particular Real Talk show, there'll be giveaways. We'll be giving away slots to the RAHi via the Real Talk show. So we are encouraging you to actually ensure that you invite as many people as possible to watch the Real Talk show. So for those that bring in, if you're able to invite 50 people plus that stay on the show up to the last minute and they confirm they were invited by you, you definitely win your place to the RAHi 2026.
Yeah.
So all those are opportunities that have been made available for you to actually be a part of the RAHi. And those of you that attended last year's RAHi online consistently, we know you. And if you were there all the 3 days and we are able to prove that you were there all the 3 days, those are some of the young people that stand a very great chance of being invited for the in-person engagement. Yeah, so all those are opportunities for you. And currently in Zambia, we are in partnership, of course, with Ministry of Health. We are currently hosting the Provincial Adolescent Health Indabas, as well as in all the 10 provinces. They will all be hosting the Provincial Adolescent Health Indabas. A few provinces have done theirs. We still have so many other provinces that are yet to implement their Indabas. And again, there's a link there for you to join our WhatsApp group, as well as our channel, our WhatsApp channel as the youth platform. That is where we're sharing this information. If you are in Zambia, tell us where you are, join that channel, tell us where you are, and then, including the WhatsApp group for coordination at national level, we'll be able to share with you details of where your event is taking place. I think participation starts from there. There are also district adolescent health indabas taking place in about 30 to 40 districts across Zambia. So again, just in case you're one of those in a district that has been targeted, that is yet to host their adolescent health indaba in your district, please again make use of those links in the comment section. Join our WhatsApp channel, join our WhatsApp group also for national coordination, so that you can find yourself in those spaces. It starts from there, then you might actually find yourself direct into the RAHi space.
Yeah. And maybe just to add on that, you guys can also connect with the youth platform on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. That's where we'll have the updates, especially now as we are planning for this year's RAHi. We'll have constant updates there. So you guys just look out for that, engage. If you have questions, don't be afraid to comment, DM, and all that, just to make sure we're on the same page. Yeah.
So I've talked about how the registration fee will cover the conference package. Please remember, when it comes to accommodation and transport, it's not part of that fee. However, TYP is engaging with some of our hospitality partners who are offering special RAHi rates. So please do reach out to us so that we can actually help you arrange your accommodation at the RAHi rate, as well as possibly your transport from your country. I think there are organizations, members who are coordinating travel from the different countries, especially the neighboring countries. Those of you that may be coming by road, their point of contact. There's a point of contact there. There's an organization that will be organizing or coordinating the transport logistics. So please do reach out so that you don't travel alone. And the morale, the vibe should start from your country. So also, please come with your flag. Come with your flag. Yeah, carry your flag, and also come with your outfit, your traditional outfit. We want to see you dressed up like my comrade here, Robinson Muigai, my guy, who is painting his hair red in a Maasai outfit. Yeah, so I really can't wait.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I wanted to say there is the booth section.
Yeah.
These booths are opened for partners, people who want to showcase things to the young people, but also young people who have innovations that they can come and showcase in those booths. So also that's available on the website. Check it out and register. You'll have all the details around the booth in that section.
Yeah. And just to add that the booths are actually going really, really quickly this year. So there are people that have already been reaching out, requesting to book some space in terms of the booth. So if you're looking, you're a business, you are an organization that wants to showcase what you do, just like you said, make sure that you book your space as soon as possible. So we're waiting for you and excited to be hosting all of you, including the partners, the young people, and everybody else.
Yeah.
We're super excited.
Yeah, we can't wait to see you.
Yeah.
Oh, and also organizations.
Yes.
The youth organizations.
Yes. Yes. So yeah. So of course
Membership, yeah.
Yeah. So of course I think we have special offers for the members. Yeah. So if you're a youth organization, you're youth led, youth focused, as long as you've registered as a member of the youth platform,
Yeah.
you actually qualify to get that special offer,
Yeah.
whether it's the booth or it's actually actual registration. But of course, at some point when you give me the opportunity, I'd like to also speak to one of the key changes that we have made
Yes.
for this year. Yeah. So one of the key changes that has happened this year to ensure that we continue to make the RAHi sustainable, we have introduced a fee structure. Okay, registration fee structure for those that want to participate, actually to be able to pay something, alongside hundreds of other scholarships, partial and full scholarships that we're going to be offering to deserving young people. We will be offering these on a certain structured kind of registration fees. Okay, so with the lowest fee, I think being $80 for early bird for Zambian young people, $80. That's is for early bird. Late registration, not early. Regular registration is at $120. Then we have those within the ESA region, young people within the ESA region, that are supposed to be paying $120. So $120 for those within the ESA region. That's for registration. That's early registration. Late registration. That's $200 for those within the ESA, Eastern and Southern African region. Then we have the international delegates that are going to be paying $300 for early registration and a $400 for regular registration. Then of course we have a standard fee for students, which is going at $70. So for students, if you're a student within Zambia or probably even outside Zambia, it's $70. So you're paying $70 for early registration and $100 for regular registration. So that's the payment structure that we are offering this year. But of course, we still have hundreds of scholarships. But for those that will qualify for the scholarships, you definitely need to earn it. It will not be random. You need to earn it. Those abstracts we're talking about, that is where the scholarships are coming from, whether it's a partial or a full scholarship. And of course, the giveaways on the Real Talk Show, those will definitely attract 100% scholarship to you that will be deserving of all these slots that will be giving away on this show. But most importantly, I just need to indicate that those are the registration fee only includes the conference package, which includes the meals like the 2 teas, the lunch, the water, as well as the conference materials. It could also include a t-shirt and any other materials that we'll be giving away. And then, of course, you enjoy access to every event that will be hosted during the RAHi, including the amazing cultural night that you heard about on the show. Yeah, so I think that is how the package looks like this year. Please remember, this is an effort to make the RAHi sustainable. Okay, with the change in funding landscape, as young people, you are being given the power to own this event, 100% owned by the young people, driven by the young people. At the same time, a special call to the partners that will be sponsoring those scholarships that we are talking about here. We know that our partners love the young people they work with. Lots of us as organizations exist because of those young people. So this is an opportunity for you to come on board and support our young people. And of course, we'll also be giving away special packages to organizations that are registering as groups. They're supporting a bigger group of young people. We'll have a special package for you. Do reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to give you that special offer. Yeah.
So as we wind up, what is your key takeaway as we've discussed the past RAHi 2026, what we are looking for this year? What is your punchline as we wind up this session today? I'll starting from the gentleman on that side as we come this way.
A punchline. Maybe I can give a statement. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be amazing. I know that it's gonna be energetic. It's gonna be like nothing you've experienced.
Yeah.
And really looking forward to it.
Yeah, for me, my punchline would be, it's only getting bigger and better. Period.
Mine would be by young people, for young people, with young people. I don't know if I got that line. That's my punchline.
For me, I think my punchline is together, we certainly will. Let's do it.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys, for joining us on this episode. My advice: the time to register is now. The time to submit those abstracts is now. And see you at the RAHi 2026. Bye-bye.